So the first thing that comes to our mind 30 days before the prelims examination, and I've already seen that a lot of you are appearing for the prelims of this year, 2021. The first thing that we need to keep in our mind is the do's and don'ts that we need to take care while attempting or in the next 30 days. That is the most crucial thing. Now, as far as the next 30 days are concerned, we have been seeing a lot of suggestions from you. You might have seen a lot of suggestions from your peer groups कि अब तो यही पढ़ना है and only अब ये नहीं देखना है, no more current affairs, or I'll not see polity because polity is easy, that doesn't bother me, or and very suggestions like that. Also videos on YouTube claiming to be solving the paper. Can you hear me? Okay. And you might have seen a lot of videos on YouTube claiming that even without knowledge, by just following these tricks, you can solve and get 120, 130 marks in the examination. So these are the few challenges that we have. Of course, I won't question their authenticity or whatever they are claiming. It might be good for them. But we need to be careful of such things that we see everywhere. So let's start with this. First thing that we need to do here is, so I have a few suggestions for all the aspirants who are appearing for this prelims of 2021. First is, don't start anything new now. We have good friends of us who come up with new suggestions. Okay, I saw this book in the market from which 3 questions were asked in the history section. Let us revise history from that. Don't do this mistake. You will have such suggestions at the end. Some will claim that, okay, such and such, so many questions were asked from this particular coaching. And some will say that, okay, if we are not doing this, you are missing out on very important topics. Don't fall for these. The most important thing that will matter for each and every one of you at this point is that you do not pick up anything new at this point. By this time, I hope you have studied all the basic books, the basic subjects, some current affairs, especially the ones that were released in the month of April. Right? All the current affair books that were released in the month of April, you might have gone through that. And recently we have published this addendum. So that is the only new thing that you have. And that is also in the form of an updation. That is nothing new. You've already studied all the basic current affairs. So it is highly suggested that you don't pick up anything new at this point. Further, it is also important that we have seen in the paper, there are some static portions that really require our focus. But some of us fall for the compilations that I'll read such and such compilations from the coachings, and that will be sufficient for cracking the prelims examination. That is also a big no for all of you at this point, because basics will always be a part of the paper. They have always been that way. Go through the papers of 10 years, you will find that static questions have always been asked in the prelims examination. So we see some of the important basic subjects are polity, economy, history, and geography. Okay, these are the static things. See, the best thing about these static subjects is that the sources of these subjects are pretty limited. I'm not saying they are you can't go beyond these books, but we have outlined more or less the basic books related to these subjects. For example, for polity, we have already outlined Lakshmikant. Okay, or for history, Bipan Chandra or Spectrum. Right? Art and culture, we are going through NCRTs, ancient and medieval NCRTs, or some few more NCRTs like the new themes related to history. Then geography is also for more or less statics. Almost 4 to 5 questions will be asked from the mapping question. So you need to keep on doing these basic things. Even in economy part, you will find almost around 10 questions or 7 to 8 questions are conceptual in nature. They are not all current affairs. That is why in all these subjects, you need to take good care of revising these subjects from the books that you have already studied. That is why static portion also needs a very important focus at this point. I will tell you this while solving the questions from this paper. If you had done the static portions properly, you would have answered some of the questions very well in the examination, even without knowing all of the options that were there in the paper. That is what will happen in the UPSC prelims as well. If you look at the weightage of the static portion, you will find that around 15 questions are asked in the polity section every year, approximately. Sometimes it is 12, sometimes it is 20 as well. It was as high as 22 in 2017. So that is the level of importance that UPSC gives to the static portions. Look at history. There are around 16 questions. Okay. There are around 16 questions there are around approximately 16 questions in history, 16 to 18, I would say. In economy, the static portion, if I add them, it will be around 8. And geography, almost 4 to 5 questions. These are our core static subjects for which we have relatively stable sources, defined sources, or limited sources that we are studying. Look at the weightage of all this. If you combine it, it comes somewhere around 40 to 45 questions, right? Do you all feel that way? Isn't it that way? It is always around 40 to 45 questions will be from the static portion. And the best part about these is that if you have done them thoroughly, you will be able to answer almost around, I would say, 40 questions out of 45 if there are 45 questions, or let's say 36, 37 questions. So that will be your best bet in the examination. What is the score if you answer these questions correctly? It comes to around 70 marks approximately if you are thorough with all your static subjects. Okay, so that is the level of importance of the static subjects. Do not miss out on them. Don't just fall for the current affairs right now. Do revise current affairs from the magazines that you have already done, plus the addendum part, that's just an updation. But static portion should be your primary focus, should be your primary focus besides the current affairs. Do not miss out on this part. That is why I have clearly highlighted, make sure that the static portion gets the right priority, okay, or the right preference. Then what is the best thing to do at this point is to go through the previous year questions. Why I'm saying this? I'm saying this because, first of all, no test series can match the type of questions that UPSC will ask in the prelims examination. UPSC questions are always unique. They have been that way. They have a very different approach of asking the questions. Nobody can match that way. We just have the benefit of hindsight. We can take cue from some of the previous year questions. And if you solve these questions, you will find, okay, if I'm solving a particular question from history, which all aspects have been focused on by the UPSC? What is the nature of questions asked in polity? If I'm going through fundamental rights, fundamental duties, what kind of questions can be asked from this particular topic? So this is how solving previous year questions help you. Also, at times, questions or themes are repeated in the examination from these previous year questions. A very good example is the question that was asked related to ease of doing business report back in 2016. That particular question or the theme was again repeated in 2019, if you all are aware. Okay. In 2016, the question was about which organization releases this report. When it became a common fold knowledge in 2019, the question asked you about the subparts of the ease of doing business index. Okay, so that is how UPSC can play with the same theme in different questions. A question related to Buddhism was repeated in 2015 and 2016. That is how solving previous equations. See here, it's a game of 2 marks, 4 marks, 5 marks for each and every one of us. So if we are able to solve 1 or 2 questions pretty confidently because of these, by solving these previous year questions, that will be of great help for each and every aspirant. Don't miss out on that. And also, if you are studying polity, just go through the questions of polity once so that you get a very good idea about how questions could be asked in the polity section. That is the best help that you have at this point. Last but not the least, the most important thing on our hand, I have already reiterated, besides static and the current affairs, how to prepare them. The most important thing is revising, and revising. That is the only thing that in our hand, and that is the best we can do, the best justice that we can do with our preparation for qualifying this year's preliminary examination. Fine. So revision is one of the most important aspect, because if you have not revised properly, the questions, the things that you see in the options will be blur in your memory. You'll not be able to recall the real facts in the prelims examination, and that is where you will falter. For example, there was a question related to Mauryan Empire in the pre-pariksha test. You all have seen that question? Okay, there was one statement, Sunny Dhata is the chief revenue officer, right? This is a simple term that has been picked up from NCRT. It's part of old NCRT of ancient history. If you had remembered that properly, it would have helped you in eliminating that particular option, that this is wrong here. That is how, if you have revised properly, if you have memorized well, you have grasped things well, that will help you in eliminating or solving the questions directly or indirectly. But if you have not done that, you will stay confused and end up marking the question wrong. I'll also get to that question when I solve the question paper. Okay. Fine. Then we have been seeing a lot of, I've already talked about, a lot of tips and tricks are there in the market, claiming to be helping you score more than 120 marks without any special knowledge by just using their tips and tricks. See, they are very easy things to fall for, because we all are stressed at this time. We want a magical thing to happen and help us clear the prelims examination. But that is the trap. Let's not fall into that, because I'm saying these tips and tricks might have helped those aspirants who are making these videos, or they're claiming to be very important in the examination. They might have helped them, but not necessarily they are very universal in nature. They are just their understanding. These tricks and tips help them because they had developed these understanding of the tricks and tips during their preparation, during their course of preparation. That is why it helped them. It is not universal for each and everyone. That is why I keep on saying that if you are preparing thoroughly, if you have followed the process regularly, rigorously, and also if you have practiced the mock papers well, you have already identified all the important tricks and tips that you need for solving the question paper in the real examination. These are person specific, they are individual specific, and they are developed over time through practice. So there is no magical solution to clearing the prelims examination. It is only the thing that you have already done in the past, and that is how you have to apply those tricks and tips that you have already developed. Okay, I'll not attempt such kind of questions. This can be one of the tricks for you. Okay, I'll try and eliminate the negative statements first, or which are the wrong statements, and then I'll try to attempt then I'll try to eliminate the options, and then I'll answer that question. So that can be one trick for you. Okay, so this is how you approach and develop your own tricks. So don't fall for such easy shortcuts for clearing the prelims examination. And lastly, the biggest challenge or biggest concern for everyone is, and we have got a lot of messages that, sir, we are so stressed at this time and it is getting onto our nerves. Okay, so we have been getting these suggestions that the times are very anxious, the stakes are really high, and we are really stressed. Do you really think stress is something that we can control at this point? Tell me in the chat box. So is it okay to have stress at this point? Why do we human beings are so stressed all the times? Where did it come from? Thousands of years ago, we used to live in jungle. And at that time, there were tigers, there were animals, wild animals who could have killed us. So during our evolution, we developed these stress hormones inside our body to counter these physical threats. But now there are no tigers left. We're already trying to save them. Or there are no wild animals left. That is why all the environmental planning and that we are doing, Wildlife Protection Act schedules and all, isn't it? So the physical threat is now over. The threat that we already have is only the mental threat or the imagined threat that we have. That is why the biggest thing that comes into our mind is, will I clear the examination? Will I fail the examination or not? Or will I fail the examination? Will I be able to handle the stress in the examination? Just 30 days are left, so much syllabus is left. Stakes are so high, I have been preparing for 2 years. What will happen if I don't clear? All these things. What will my parents think? Fear is temporary, glory is forever. Yes, a great quote. Someone has written in the chat box. Fine. So it is very normal to be stressed at this point, and I would like to objectify stress for you to make you get a very better understanding how stress can be very harmful for you and how you can change this thing into a very positive thing for you, which can help you, especially at this point when 30 days are only left. Okay, so I have come up with this interesting cycle that I have created for you based on my understanding, my experience, and the things and the feedbacks that we are getting from you, the kind of stress you are facing. We all know that prelims is approaching. That is the biggest fear. 30 days are left whole lot of syllabus is left. And a friend is also suggesting that I should buy this new book of history, or I should also go through DD Basu. Lakshmikant is not enough these days, right? So these are the suggestions. These are the things that are bothering us. Then also this and all these thoughts and discussions and the feelings that come into our mind are the reason of our stress, isn't it? So that is the biggest thing that is facing us. But these two things are always constant. Prelims is always close. Suggestions will always keep on coming. Stress will always be there. And if you fall into this trap, this will help you in low absorption, because we are always thinking about outcomes only here in this particular cycle. When you're stressed, it will be low absorption, low retention. This will further add to your stress. A day will pass, and it will again reduce the number of days for your exam. Again, the stress will increase. So this is a vicious trap that you might fall into, isn't it? But if you look at things a bit differently, prelims is approaching, all the suggestions are there, all the fundas in the market are there. We have been listening to all the tricks and tips and everything. Stress is there. Okay, fine. But the first thing that you can do is you should accept that each and every one of will be stressed at this point. How would a serious aspirant not be stressed at this point? It's really difficult to say that a serious aspirant is not stressed. That means he is not preparing well, or he has some plan B ready for him. He has got selection in CAPF. Okay, I don't care about UPSC now. So I'm not talking about those candidates, but who have really put their effort here, they are bound to be stressed here. That's why the biggest thing for us is acceptance. And once we accept the stress that is there, we will always focus on process and not always on the outcomes. I'm saying outcomes, or the thoughts about outcomes, will always come. The result of the prelims will always keep you bothered. But if you focus on the process from here, you will start focusing on small targets. And if you try and achieve these small targets, this will give you a feeling of accomplishment, a feeling of fulfillment. And that is how these targets will again make you or give you something to be happy about, or something to be positive about based on the targets that you have completed. For example, if you set a very small target, okay, I'll finish 5 chapters of Lakshmikant in, let's say, next 6 hours, or in next 8 hours. Just go on doing that. If you do that comfortably, that will give you a good amount of confidence at the end of the day. You will get out of that futile debate of the outcomes, of the result, of the failure or the passing of the examination, and you will get right into the frame of getting or completing more and more things as the days pass on, isn't it? So that is how you can handle your stress properly. So this is a virtuous cycle. It will help you in completing majority of the syllabus with ease in the next 30 days. So that is how it is very normal for each and every one of us to be stressed, and we need not be bogged down by this kind of stress that we are facing at this point. Last but not the least, in the prelims examination, if you will attempt the 4th pre-parikshan test before 6 days of the prelims examination, I will again repeat these things. Don't go with any preconceived notion in the examination. Every paper is different. Every paper that you have attempted in the mock test is different. Every prelims examination is different. There is no set rule. There is no set theory. Rely on your preparation. Be confident about your preparation and go with an open mind, and don't go with any preconceived notion. So I hope this was something about the stress that each one of you are handling at this point. I have answered majority of your concerns. This will take us to the question paper. Let us look at the performance of the aspirants here and how they have performed in this test.